try to increase and scale this framework to support multiple models for multiple use cases.
Excellent. So this is something for developers.
Yes.
Well, first, before each release, we use the evaluation in order to make sure that no regression happened.
We are building something for the community, so we have to make it accessible for everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm today with two members of the NORMA team. With me, Oumou Kelthoum. She's an email engineer at NORMA, and also Sofiene, who's an ML expert building evaluation tools at NORMA. The objective today is to share with you some of the aspects the team is working on, both building agents, tweaking, optimizing these agents for our clients, and also how these agents are evaluated in the long term. So probably we'll start with you, Oumou Kelthoum. Can you tell us a bit about kind of tasks you are doing on a daily basis and how evaluation is included in your work?
Yeah, sure. So on a daily basis, I work on building multi-agent systems, which come with the drawbacks of being autonomous. It makes things easier that the agent is capable of following some sophisticated patterns on itself, but it for sure needs an evaluation that is exhaustive and that is also covering many parts in order to make sure that the whole system will not break.
So how for example, complexity is represented in this agent's work?
Sure.
From where you see this complexity coming to your daily job?
Sure. Since it is not a workflow, and that we opt for multi-agent systems, we will give it the autonomy of choosing which path is the correct to adapt to each
choosing the
input.
tools, for example.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But with this autonomy should come a very strict evaluation in order to make sure that it never goes out of rails, and in order to make sure also that a small change or a small feature won't break the whole system.
Excellent. Yeah, we can see that clearly. So, and how many steps, for example, your agents or multi-agents will go through to obtain the final results? For example, do you have some figures in mind? How many?
I don't have an exact figure in mind, but I know we need to go through many steps in order to reach a final desired output. Because we apply many filters that we need to pass, many guardrails actually, that we need to follow in order to have an accepted final output.
Okay, clear. And how do you manage to build strong evaluation upon this system? What are the steps you had to go through to ensure that your coverage is good?
Yeah, well, the evaluation we built was quite decent because it was capable of going through all of the necessary steps in order to make sure that the correct tool calls were done, and also that the desired output is within the scope of the guardrail. So an evaluation that covers all of these major aspects and that also go through each step needed in order to produce this final output, and to make sure that nothing is left behind, that all is evaluated with the correct metrics and all.
Okay, so for business people, what does it mean? Finally, steps and sources, I would say. I mean, for an agent, what does it mean? For example, because what could be nice is giving one example of tasks and role that this agent is playing, just to give a sense of explanation to that.
Sure, I can provide an example. For example, if we have a multi-agent system that covers booking flight tickets, we will need to make sure that good tools were picked each time, like we need to check for the availability, and we need to make sure that it no longer exists in a registry once we pick it. Also, we need to make sure that the output is not being hallucinated and that it was backed up with great reference.
So actually, you're evaluating the full process from first touch to the final booking. Like if a human was doing that, and you have
Exactly.
Okay, very clear. So yeah, very clear. Thank you. And Sofiane, I know that you're closely working together because you're building stuff that Oumou Kelthoum is using, but not only Oumou Kelthoum.
Yeah.
So I know all projects and roadmap you have in mind. Can you share a bit first about what is going on, what transformation we had last month of our approach, and
Okay, so basically we started with basic groundwork for an evaluation framework that will be used for evaluating, monitoring, and observing machine learning systems.
Yeah.
So consequently, what we done and we've been doing lately is to try to increase and scale this framework to support multiple models for multiple use cases, which covers the evaluation of agentic systems to classification and data or metadata extraction. And now currently we are also planning to implement another module, an additional module for RAG, which is like retrieval augmented generation cases. This will try to cover all the aspects that any developer working on this like innovative LLM powered solutions and this augmented machine learning algorithms that they are implemented to retrieve, to evaluate, to observe, to monitor, and to successfully pass to the second iteration with tangible outcomes and tangible results.
Yeah, by the way, I had a question for you about how do you see the difference of what you are building here, okay, and other tools that we can find. Why do you think that your vision is bringing something different? What is the axe of reflecting this?
Yeah, our vision is based on use cases that we've seen. It's based on the different researches that we made. It's based on multiple evaluation tasks that we conducted, and we tried to provide the user with not only one tool, but like sort of a Swiss knife that can be applied on compound systems that have some of this, some of that, so they won't only be restrained to a sort of or specific type of evaluation. So here comes LevelApp.
So we have this flexibility of building your custom evaluation.
100%.
Using, I would say, machine learning approach.
Yeah.
But tweaking the system to fit kind of tasks you give to your agent.
Exactly.
This is a challenge, honestly, because Oumou Kelthoum, you're one of the users of what Sofiane is building. So it's always hard to keep that balance between solving short-term issue raised by Oumou Kelthoum and having like a high-level vision and a longer vision of what could be in the future, and knowing that we have some competitors. Not with the same approach exactly, but of course it's okay. And I know you're also working on an additional package.
Exactly.
That will give more flexibility. So today you have a non-intrusive approach. Maybe you can explain a bit how is the approach today and what you're adding.
Okay, so mainly LevelApp, which is the first framework that we are working on, is covering post-development phases, and it will help any user to conduct regression tests to evaluate whether the system as upgrades, latest upgrades, are working correctly or not. And this new, like, considered as like a baby sister
the first
project.
one is not touching at all the system of
it handles it as a black box.
Independent from the development team.
Exactly.
It's QA team who's going to
just like hook it to
you're stressing the system, but not
stress the system, get the results, evaluate the results.
Statistically speaking.
Exactly. Statistically speaking, and from there, you can go back to see the upgrades that you've done, or maybe push for other additional upgrades that you want to make. This additional new tool, which is really like a lightweight tool that can be used for observability during the development phase.
Excellent. So this is something for developers that are involved in building the multi-agent system.
Yes.
Okay. So
you want to provide the user with a set of metrics, indicators about the health of the system they are building, about whether if there is like some derails, like if there is like some sort of anomalies inside that cannot be caught
by the regular endpoints.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So it's enriching finally the vision by giving this. It's an SDK. We can.
Yeah, it's an SDK, and it's a decorator at some point.
Okay.
So
so basically,
just decorate it.
Methods, your APIs, and then you get more information. Really very specific to your needs.
Yes, you can have the logs after, whether you want it as a hard, in a hard format, like classic logs, or at some point you can go for something like dashboard visualization, stuff like that. It works real time also, so you can keep an eye on the systems that take few moments.
So it could be online evaluation.
It's online evaluation.
I see. Excellent. Good. And by the way, how do you manage to update your scenarios? What is the way you're, I would say, adjusting your scenarios, your vision, based on features that you have? What is the process in your site?
Good question. Well, first, before each release, we use the evaluation in order to make sure that no regression happened. So in order to do so, we need to make sure that the scenarios align also with the new features introduced. And in order to focus on this aspect that was introduced, this new feature, we update the scenarios, whether the output has changed or whether a new aspect should be covered. We can add it accordingly to the app.
Okay, very clear. And I guess sometimes you have bugs in production. I know it's a rare case, but sometimes. Yeah. What is the process then? How do you manage that?
We use the app for tracing in order to make sure this bug happened or touched which step exactly of the workflow, and then this way we can determine where it happened exactly and mitigate it.
Okay, and then enrich your scenarios, I guess. With additional aspects.
Exactly, in order to make sure that
next time it will not. Okay. And how many times do you have to run a scenario to obtain? Because I know it's a batch testing.
Yeah.
So do you have any rules for that, or how do you decide how many times you have to run the scenario?
Okay. So you know that the determinism is an issue with the LLM. So sometimes you need to increase the number a bit in order to make sure that the general behavior is consistent with what you want to have.
Also.
So the number of times you run the scenario really depends on the case that you have.
Criticity maybe of the when you want to be extremely sure about something.
Sometimes 3 is enough. Sometimes you can go up to 10.
To 10, specific, I think, for the guardrail, which is the most critical. Very, very good. So Sofiene, can you talk a bit about kind of metrics you're using in? I know that some of them are coming from regular machine learning field. Others are very trendy.
Trendy, exactly.
Metrics. So what are your vision about metrics to use?
So basically the approach is like to try to adopt state-of-the-art metrics, the ones that used consistently in benchmarks, plus we allow the user to bring their own metrics. This is the good side. We have from the basic, like exact, to the token, to the fuzzy ones. And we include like new approaches like LLM as judges, and we use the old MLOps based classification and accuracy metrics. So we have sort of covered like not literally everything, but most of it.
The most frequent standards.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so
we left the door open for
you can still
user to add.
Build more. So this is the benefit of having open source project, by the way. one of the objectives of NORMA and the team is to have other people contributing, other people testing, giving their feedbacks, and helping to move this to another level. So we have documentation, I guess, for that. It's a huge work to maintain all that. It's moving fast. So
it's an important thing to add. We are building something for the community, so we have to make it accessible for everyone, to provide documentation, to make it easier to add, to install,
to deploy,
to adjust, to enhance, to contribute to. So those different aspects needs to be taken into consideration.
Yeah.
Also from the architecture point of view and design point of view, we need to make it modular, maintainable. So when any contributor wants to add his own or like a module or submodule, they can easily include it and they can easily like patch it up quickly and just run it or push the code.
So you have this self-hosted option. Anyone can just clone or deploy the tool in its own infrastructure or a given cloud. Okay. And we have, of course, the SaaS solution, which is the one you're using, Oumou Kelthoum, because it has all features with the front end and with the asynchronous, with the scaling, which make it easier for you to use it on a daily basis. So thank you, both of you, for answering all these questions and giving vision about what is going on and the daily work you have, and hope we'll have another discussion later with many new components.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.